Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under my feet, baby, the grass is growing. Yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to get going. Well, welcome to my next video. This is going to be a DIY presentation of something that I adapted for my solo stove. Solo stove is a standalone fire pit that I carry along with me, and mine happens to be the smallest one, called the Ranger. But there are different kinds of accessories that you can purchase for the solo stove, and to change the functionality. And um, I just really am not interested in paying for that. I would rather try and figure out how to do some of the functionality of those things in different ways that are not only cheaper, but with means that are available to me. So I want to share a bit of that with you. This is going to be more like a slide presentation with my voiceover rather than a video of how I did it. Hopefully it will be well, not self-explanatory, but at least that I'll explain it clear enough to you. And at a later time, I plan to do a video when I'm actually firing up the solo stove and using these improvements for different things. Anyway, the main project is going to be creating a stand that sits on the solo stove that raises up a platform in order to put different kinds of accessories on it. You'll see what I mean as I get into um, the slides that I'm about to show you and share with you. So anyway, again, this is just something that I did. I don't recommend doing it yourself. I don't recommend anyone doing it yourself, of course, but I did it myself. And if I give you some ideas to work with, that's great. But I take no responsibility for either my ability to design things well that you can use or your ability to adapt them the way you want to. Anyway, we're doing this all at our own risk, and this is not to promote solo stove. It's to promote the type of living as a nomad, and also as somebody clever enough to figure out how to do things without paying a lot of money. And I'm not that clever, but I'm learning from people who are. So anyway, let's dive right in, and I hope you enjoy it. I look forward to your comments on this, and hope that it's beneficial to you. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is my solo stove. It's the Solo Stove Ranger. There are several different sizes of this, but we're just dealing with the Ranger right now. It's the smallest size. Uh, it's a little over 12 inches tall from rim down to the bottom. It does have a stand that it sits on, so it'll sit up higher than that, and you can see the rim on the top of it sticks it up a little higher. But what's important about this in this size is basically the diameter of the top, and we're talking about 15 inches. And so the goal that I have is to build on top of this a stand that will be able to use other accessories, as I said earlier. So here is what the top looks like. Looking down into the abyss, you can see down in this area, um, down here, you can see actually the ring that is stored that would that the stove would normally sit on. But this is what the top looks like. And what we're going to be doing is utilizing this. This is an automobile beauty rim, and it's for a 15-inch wheel. I got this at Highway Mart, and Highway Mart is just basically driving along the road and finding this abandoned. So this is going to be the basis upon which I start to build that stand. And this is the back of it, and you can see on the sides over here, you can see my mouse pointer here. You see these little clips. Now these clips are used to fit the beauty rim inside the the rim on the car in the vehicle, but I'm going to make use of them for something else. Instead of using the outside of them, which I'm pointing to here, we're going to utilize the insides here, and I'll show you how we'll do that. So this is the rim, what it will look like, and you'll see that it fits perfectly on top of the stove. This is only to show how the diameter works best for raising it, and it is going to be the basis of the platform that is raised, and I'll show you that here. So we're going to be using these Simpson strong ties. Now the number on this is number 1280T. They're fairly stout, and the height basically from this top right here down to here is about 8 inches. And this portion is, you'll see in a minute, this portion up here is going to be modified in order to fit around the beauty rim. And this portion down here is actually going to sit just inside the edge of the lid uh, that I showed you on the Solo stove itself. So as you can see here, the bottom portion here is going to sit in this trough. Here's the rim of the top of the Solo stove, and it's going to fit here in the top. And then, as I say, this top edge is going to be modified in order to fit inside the beauty rim. We're going to actually bend it, so you can see the arc that I have here. We're going to end up bending it so that it will fit inside of these. I'm calling them clips, but anyway, they're the spring-loaded stays for and this is one that has actually been fit in there. So we have 3 of the Simpson strong ties of um, the type that I showed you, so that we're going to have a tripod stand basically to hold on the top of the stove. So here's another view of the way that will fit, and I'll show you how to bend those in just a second. Okay, so we see here on the left, we see one that hasn't been modified, and the one up here on the top that has been modified. Didn't need a lot of tools for this, just needed a good sturdy edge of something to be able to put some pressure on this and bend it. And I really only bent it in, I'll show you, I did it in 2 steps for each side. But anyway, I used the edge of my table here in order to do that. So all 3 of them are going to be bent in this fashion. And we're going to start by doing the first bend here. Okay, so I'm holding it here. And again, part of the reason that I didn't video this is because I'm doing this one-handed, or I'm trying to document this with one hand and then actually work with the other. So I can't show you how to bend it with 2 hands because I'm using one for the camera right now. But anyway, we set this up at the edge, and then I'm going to end up holding it in this area here, but here's where I'm going to put the pressure on, and we're going to make a little crease right here by pushing it over the edge. So I'll hold it with my left hand, and you see here, after I've pushed with the right hand, this is about the amount of bend that I've put on that one edge. And after doing that, then we slide it over. This is our second spot where we're going to put a bend. So I hold it the same way and push it with my right hand until I have something that looks sort of like this. Now I'm going to pick this up here in just a second and show you. Now this is how that one part is going to look like. Okay, it's going to be bent on this kind of an arc. So turning it over, and this is the bent part right here. This is the second side that needs to be bent, and I'm going to make a crease in approximately the same area. There's the first crease, holding it with my hand, and this is what it will look like when we're done. Oops, I don't know what happened there. There it is. So anyway, this is the bend that we're going to have, and as you can see, this is the full bend that I did here, the full bend and the bend here. Okay, and how it's fit in the tracks. So we're going to do that with all 3. Now, it's not a perfect bend. As you can see, it doesn't completely fit down in there, but there's enough give to it that I'm able to push it down so that it will fit properly down in this channel. And you see here I have two of them together. So actually have all three of them. 1, 2, and 3. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. And there's another view of those 3 also as they fit down inside there. So what they've done is made a nice tripod to be able to sit here on top within the grooves. So if you can see here, here, and here, it's just sitting on the top there. Now it doesn't sit perfectly, but again, the thing about the solo stoves is that the way they're designed is to be as smokeless as possible, to reduce smoke a whole lot. So anyway, the major portion of heat is going to come out here, and part of the reason that I'm building this up is I want to devise a diverter to be able to divert some of the heat instead of just going straight up, kind of out, so that those that are around this within a few feet can experience and enjoy more of the heat than what is just going to go up. But then I also want to use it for cooking purposes too, and I'll show you not the cooking, but I'll show you the idea behind that. So here's what it looks like from the top. So you see I have the beauty rim. I have the beauty rim here, have the strong ties 1, 2, and 3 here going around, and it's very strong, very balanced. So as far as being able to set other things on top of this, I have this grate that I intend to set on like this, and we'll see if that's going to work out well for putting a pot or pan or other things on it like that, things to utilize that heat that's going straight up. And also with the idea of being able to cover most of this area here with something. I haven't determined what yet, but in order to make that diverter, to divert some of the heat, deflect some of the heat out in order to enjoy it. So anyway, another great thing about this, you can see the beauty rim sits right on top of the solo stove, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. The solo stove comes in a bag that fits all the way up to the rim here, and I'm not sure if I can fit this into the bag. But at least it sits here. But you can see that the Simpson strong ties, all 3 of them, fit down inside what is normally just an open space when this is stored. So it hasn't taken up a whole lot of space. So you get the idea of what I've tried to do with this, and I'm going to go back and show a little more, just a little longer, of what that is. It's very simple and it's cheap. The strong ties cost less than $3. I got them at Lowe's. You know, you can shop around. Hopefully you can get them that are cheap enough to do that. But anyway, so follow this through and you'll see the steps that I took in order to make this. Again, do this at your own risk. I'm doing it at my risk. This is just to share ideas in a free society, and not to take responsibility for any mishaps. I don't anticipate any, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be sharing this, but I hope that you're safe and that you have fun with your solo stove or whatever you have there, or taking this idea and improving it. Again, I look forward to hearing your comments, and we'll catch you when I do a demonstration of how this works when it's fired up. Thanks again.
Far away from your troubles and worries, you belong somewhere you feel free. You belong somewhere